thanks for joining us today.
Thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you.
So can you tell us a little bit about what YellowPepper does and what your role is there?
Yeah, well, YellowPepper is a fintech company. We started back in 2004 in Ecuador, in South America. At that time, the company just sent SMS messages to notify users about advertisement or promotions, like you have $2 to spend in any store. So the user receives those messages and do something about it. At some point, the owners had access to one of the biggest banks in Ecuador, and they decide to do an application based on SMS. Basically, you send a keyword to a short code, and then goes to the bank and then replies with some information. In this bank took a leap of faith at that point because this company was so small, so new, but they could this fancy thing, you know? And at that point, all the banks not all the banks, but most of the banks in Ecuador decided to have the same solution because it was good. It was super easy. At that moment, SMS was super good in terms of speed and the cost, and was a good solution. And then banks in the area, in Colombia, Peru, and Bolivia, they start to want the same thing, and they start contacting us to basically to have that solution. And then BlackBerry was super like in the best wave that they had. I think it was 2008, I guess. Around
BlackBerry.
Was well, just say it. And then we decided to have a native application on those platforms, and also in Nokia Java phones, because those were the phones that were available at the moment. And then we did a third leap that was to have applications for Android and iOS. To have the mobile applications to transaction with the banks, basically. So you can pay your rolls, you can pay your bills, you can check your balance, you can see your any banking information you want to do. And the last leap we did was to go to the payment field. So now we are in payments. Basically, what we do is payments now. We have the other applications, those are legacy to us now. But we are working with banks and financial institutions in Mexico, Brazil, in Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, Bolivia. And also we're building applications like Bini to do the same. In Peru, we're going to do the same with the 3 major banks there because they want an application to do this job, to make payments to clients.
And you're working with retailers as well, right?
Not that much, actually, because each country has 2 or 3 integrators. So we talk to these integrators, and the integrator talks to the merchants and everybody else. So we just need to talk with our clients, the banks, and these integrators to be part of the and that's what YellowPepper does at this point. Now, what I do, I'm the head of operations. That's the name I have in the company. What I do exactly, I will say 3 things. One is security, because one of the most important things in payments is security. Actually, PCI, if you see all what you require to be compliant with PCI, is security. Basically, is that. The second one is once I receive from developers the application, my responsibility is to make the application to be up and running all the time, 24/7. And the third thing is, I think this is the most important and is the newest to us, because in the past, the client, when the client had a need, they came to us and say, hey, I need this application to solve this problem. Then the project managers, they took the idea, they landed in a document, and they passed to developers, and the developers did the job, and they just passed an application to us, and we have no idea what it does, what the configurations are. It requires a database. What database is that? What kind of service do we need? We have no idea. So we started to be part of that process from the very beginning. Because sometimes project managers they like try to do things that are not possible. Like let's say like the sun. The sun goes rise from the east, right? And they want to do the opposite. They want to do from the west. And developers, what they do is, okay, we are going to take version 1 of that. We're just going to replace the way the compass works. So I just move the label, and now you south is north, and so on, right? So, okay, the application is fine. And then in operations, we receive that application that is not working, or is working, but not properly working. And then once we face the clients, so that's why we want to be part of that, the whole process, the whole pipeline. So we make sure that from the very beginning, we tell the guys, hey guys, this is not possible because this and that, or it's not going to be compliant with SOC 2, with PCI, with ISO, whatever we need to comply with. So those 3 things are the things I'm responsible now. By the way, my team is, we're just 5, including me. And we do all this job. It sounds that it's too much work for very short staff. But the thing is, we have learned what to do and what we don't want to do, right? Because when you have a bunch of servers, you have a bunch of hardware, you spend too much time replacing things. This is broken, a server is down, I don't know, a balancer is not balancing, and those kind of things. So we decided, okay, what is our core business activities that are going to provide value to the company? So we need to focus on those specific activities. So the way we did that is amazing. I think we're gonna talk about
exactly.
that.
Yeah, so you've got this lean staff, and then you guys were seeing massive growth. So how did that play into your decision to move to the cloud? Like, what kind of challenges were you having that you just couldn't keep up with?
When you are in payments, it's super interesting. This is the thing. We started with small banks, small financial institutions. But payments were not that fancy. Once they noticed that you can pay from your phone, so the institutions say, okay, we want to do that, we do. We did something with Visa. Actually, we are partners with Visa, and they introduced us to big clients in the region. Actually, in Brazil, we have one of the biggest clients. And then we need to escalate so quickly. So if you do that in a cage where you have the servers, racks, you have a problem because you need to buy a bunch of hardware. You need to set up the hardware. You need to handle all about the firmware, the dates, the cabling. I don't know. Again, a server is down, this is not working. Probably you lost your ride. All those technological things. So we were tied to the hardware, and the way we were growing was not sustainable. So we should find a solution to that, and the obvious solution was, okay, let's go to the cloud, because that is going to be the way we're not going to be tied to the hardware, where we going just tied because probably, I don't know, the staff is short or the projects are not good enough, or things like that, but not from technology. Technology, that part was solved.
Well, even that part too. So if you did do this all on-prem, the technology changes, and now you're tied to old technology. So if you had not moved to the cloud, what would you say the opportunity loss would have been? So what detriment would it have done to your company?
It would be disastrous, because if we don't grow as fast as our clients need, basically they want to say they want a solution right now. Financial institutions are like that. I need a solution. I want now, and if possible, I want to be that solution free. Right?
Yeah, of course. Don't we all?
So if they don't have what they want, they just look for a different player to solve their issues. And the good thing about YellowPepper is that we hit first in those countries. So our name is good in those countries. So we don't want to lose our clients, because we're dealing with huge banks. We don't want to deal with small retailers or, I don't know, small financial institutions. We want to play with the biggest clients. So we don't want to don't have the ability to provide our services because of this. So that's why we moved to the cloud. And so if we had not done that, at some point we just should separate from the bank, right? Because financial institutions, right? I have the money, I can pay you, but if you can't do it, it doesn't. right? So the risk was super huge, super huge. Actually, the decision was not taken that fast. We took like 6 months analyzing everything in terms of cost, what to do with hardware, what to do with our software, what about the processes we had in place, certifications, and a bunch of other things. So it was a tough decision, but it was a must decision to say yes to.
Yeah, it sounds like it was your kind of only option. So there are a bunch of different ways to move to the cloud. You can refactor, or you could do a lift and shift. You chose to lift and shift. So can you talk about that 6 months of decision, why you went that direction?
Well, you can do both, basically.
Well, yeah.
The thing is, our applications are so complex because we talk to the bank, we talk to third parties, we talk to other clients, and so on, right? So it's a mesh. And if you have tons of applications, we have like 150 applications. So the mesh is super complex. If you refactor everything, you will need an army to rebuild everything from scratch probably, or to configure everything again. Right? So that's why we decided to isolate applications and then start moving each application at a time. So that way we reduce the risk when doing the migration. We did refactor like FTPs, SMTP servers, things like services that are not important to us or are complementary to us. But the core applications were, and we did a test with dev and staging environments to see what happens. So we migrated all the dev at once and see what happens. Then staging we in parts. Let's move this part of this legacy and then the new application to see what happens. And with that lesson learned, what we did is, okay, let's go to production and start with clients with low risk impact in case something fails. So far, so good. We have none of the migration have failed so far. Everything is perfect, was clean. Actually, my boss is super happy about the migration, as well as my wife, because I'm not working that much now. But it was a little tough. It took us like 4 months, more or less. And we migrated like 100 servers to deploy. We still have a bunch of minor servers there, like again, SMTP, FTP. I have one balancer, things like that. We're removing that in the next couple of weeks because we have a bunch of VPNs with clients, so we need to talk with them. So that's why we decided to go with this solution, because it was the best solution to us with the staff we had, with the budget we had at the moment, with the time.
We talked a little bit about security earlier, and obviously in financial services that's a big concern. So we find a lot of times people will move to the cloud and then think about security. Obviously, we don't have that luxury. So can you talk about, you already had a great solution in place, and you basically just moved that over to the cloud?
Well, when you are PCI compliant, everything you think is about security. What I need to do to comply with PCI. It's a daily thing you must think about. So when we were moving to the cloud, was okay. We need first of all understand how the cloud works, how the network works, how balancing works, how security works, how access to the virtual machines works, and so on. So once that was locked, we moved to a solution to protect the networking itself. So we place a firewall and protect everything inside those projects, to everything move to that firewall and then face to the internet, to VPNs, whatever. That's one was one of the things. The second thing is about the culture of the people. Because one thing is when you have like physical servers and nobody can touch them, right? So you're more or less secure because nobody's gonna disconnect the cable and so on. But in cloud, if you don't protect your assets properly, somebody can delete something that's super important. So we did a separation in terms of applications and in terms of environments. So each application environment is in a different project. So that accesses to those projects are separated. In dev guys, guys, QA guys, they have their own access to their assets, and we as operation, we have access to other things in production. And for PCI compliant purposes, logging and those kind of things are a different project where we don't have access to that, just the compliance team. So we can see the project, we can see what is in the project, but we cannot touch what's inside the project. What else? Also, we need to activate two-factor authentication for everything. So if you want to log in to the web page, you need to do two-factor authentication. Same for server, same for VPN, from your computer to the site, and so on. So we need a bunch of things to accomplish the security. Because as I mentioned before, PCI is so picky with those kind of things. You need to be super careful because the minute stuff you omit can have incredible consequences in the future when you are being audited.
Does anyone in the room deal with PCI compliance? You know the pain, right?
Yeah, right now we're decommission a DR, so we're trying to build a control framework with the NIST, and it's very new for everybody in the bank. So it's just to be compliant with what the cloud need and all the user access. So we're dealing with that now. We're trying to build like at least the first basic wave of controls that we need, and there's a lot more, but it's painful.
So when you made the move, what benefits did the company see, and then did any of those benefits surprise you?
Well, internally speaking, before when we were in the lab of the American machines right away, when developers needed a new server, for example, it took days to have that server in place. Because you need to create the image, you need to type the directory, you need to do a bunch of things. And that's an impact to the project, because if you have urgency in that thing, in that resource that you need, you are going to decrease the time that this developer is going to have to do the job, right? So the first thing was that we can easily and quickly provide new virtual machines, Kubernetes clusters to our internal customers. And that means they can plan beforehand. So they can say, hey, by tomorrow I need this kind of thing. Okay, no problem. It's 2 clicks away. That's it. There you have. And no more lost time. The second thing is in terms of what we can see in terms of operations, to see what we have in place, what are the components we have deployed, what rules we have, and those kind of security things. Right? So it's easier to handle everything from the console. So it's better. But the good thing about this was the innovation with the clients. Since we were here at the NAB of the Americas, the time between Latin America and the NAB of the Americas is around 75 milliseconds, more or less. If you increase that time, it means that the application is going to last a little bit more to show you something in the screen. When we moved to South Carolina, the data center, we were about to think what is going to happen if we increase the timing, because you first land here in Miami and then you travel to South Carolina. And the timing increases actually to 90 milliseconds, but the processing in those data centers were faster. So we reduced the time around, it was around 3 to 3.5 seconds to show up something in the screen to 2 seconds.
Wow.
So the banks, the major banks actually, they are super happy with all of that. And also we have more stability than before. So I have not heard from one of those clients like in a month. That's good.
That's good.
That's really good. So those were super surprising things that we found in the migration.
Yeah, that's great.
These kind of things.
Are you able to sort of reallocate your staff now? Are they working on
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, no.
different?
Yeah, because right now I don't care about these, I don't know, all the things I was speaking.
Yeah.
So I'm relocating them in terms of, okay, I need you guys to be more a DevOps culture agents in the company. So you need to think about what to do, how to help developers, how to help project managers, how to help and even the CEO level to solve their problems. And the last two projects we did actually were super good because of this. Because at the beginning, when we see something that is not working, or we think it's not going to work, we just sit everybody and say, okay, why we think that? So we can excuse it because of security, because of processing, because of you need these resources or whatever. And so my guys now are using their time to provide those kind of values to the company. And actually the projects were shorter than expected. It was a good thing because that's money to the company and also it's time for everybody else. So now I feel we are providing really good values to the company with what we do from operations.
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously you work with Onix. So can you talk about why you made the decision to work with a partner and if you think that's a better way to go?
Yeah, well, the cloud was an unknown area to us. So we have no idea what to expect in terms of what we are going to find in the cloud. So the obvious decision you have to do in those cases is look for help. Think about this. Hey, for those who are parents, the first time you have your first child, you have no idea what to do.
It's like a diaper commercial, right?
Yeah.
First child.
Yeah, so probably you are aware that you have a baby and you need to feed them. I don't know. But your mom has experience with it, right? So she is going to help you, and this is the better way. You probably do this, don't do that, and so on. Right? So pretty much this. Why we decided to go with a partner was because of that. We had no idea we needed the help to do that. So somebody that tell us, hey guys, you need to do this first, second this, third, and so on. And actually, if you think about the timing, like 5% of the time so far we have spent in migrating the service. Everything else was planning how to do it in the proper way. And that's the success of this story. We spent a lot of time planning the architecture network, architecturing the security, architecturing the project, and so on. And just 5% of the time doing the actual operation. Why Onix? Was a recommendation from Enrique. At that time, I didn't know you guys, but now I can say that the experience we had with you is absolutely incredible. You have been done a really, really great job. We're more than happy with the innovation we have done, and that's why we want to continue doing business with you. This is security things, Kubernetes things, and a bunch of other projects we have in mind with you guys. So it's a must. If you want to migrate to the cloud, you have to have a partner helping you on doing it. Because they have the tools, you have the experience, you have the people, the right people to like planning these and complete the migration. So it's a must.
Well, thank you for the kind words. I know our team at home will appreciate that. So the last question is, what's next for you? A lot of people, they move to the cloud, and you mentioned Kubernetes. That seems to be the next step in the evolution. So where do you go from here?
Yeah, obviously the next step is Kubernetes, absolutely. Actually, the biggest client we have in Brazil, this project is going to be only in Kubernetes. It's a payment solution. It has to be a non-CDE. Non-CDE is not PCI environment. And a CDE environment, which is a PCI environment, which is going to hold all the credit card information. So we're going to Kubernetes everything in those. Why? Because these kind of clients can grow super fast, like 10 times in 2 weeks, or it can be slow. We don't know. It depends on the advertising they do. It depends on the stability of the application and a bunch of other
seasonality and like holidays.
Yeah. So we need an infrastructure that can handle this kind of changes. So we have a bunch of transactions. Okay, we need to grow. And if we don't have that much transaction, we just can shrink the cluster. So Kubernetes is the obvious decision to those kind of projects. That's super huge and super unpredictable in terms of transactionability and the number of users you're going to have in time. So Kubernetes is the last.
So So I'm throwing an extra question at you. Is there anything that you wished I had asked you that you'd like to share? So anything that we sort of didn't touch on?
Well, the experience I think is good about the things that happen in the team. When we started this, we were super scary about Google Cloud. What's Google Cloud? What's networking? What's a PPC? What's I don't know, those kind of things. And Enrique was super like, no, it's super easy. You're gonna see it.
Enrique's with the Google team for those of you who don't know.
Yeah, he was selling me the idea.
Yeah.
So me and my team, we had those workshops to see, okay, let's try to create a PPC, let's try to deploy a server to see what it is. And we had our concerns of security. We did 3 courses, like 45 minutes each one, and that was everything we need to know. It was that simple. At that moment, we knew that, okay, Google, GCP is the way we need to go. And now the team is super happy about that because
That's great.
yeah, it's a good experience, a new experience. You are not like in the past. We were good, configuring checkpoint firewalls or Cisco or routers and things like that. Now we're happy because we know how to deal with Google Cloud and all the things that means. Also about disaster recovery. Beforehand, disaster recovery was a nightmare because you need to replicate pretty much everything in the new location.
Right, yeah. In Miami, I'm sure it's
No, yeah,
very
because you
big
got.
concern, right?
I remember
Little weather.
about like back in 2017. I was in Tampa. The data center was here. I took my 2 cars there, my wife one, and then the other one just in case something happened. I need to go back to Miami. It was a nightmare. But now with the solution that I can afford with Google Cloud, it's easier. I just replicate the service to a different location with the same architecture and design. If something falls down, I just rise up in the other location and I'm up in minutes, all minutes. So those experiences were super nice to us because we don't need to spend too much in disaster recovery. We just need to do it. We want to do this and then just replicate in whatever other data center and doesn't. We're done. So it's time saving by far.
But you mentioned your team, and one thing that hits me too is I think there's sort of an HR component too, because they're getting to keep their skills up with the latest technology instead of feeling like they're behind in the market. I think there's an attraction there to pull the best talent because you're working with the latest technology.
Yeah, and I mean, that's a funny story there. We are hiring 1 more people. And we are looking for somebody that has some knowledge in these kind of technologies. But it's hard, super difficult to find somebody doing that. So what we are going to do is hire somebody that has a good knowledge in the traditional deployments and teach that person from 0 to be part of our team to have the same knowledge we have right now. I think it's not going to be that hard. It's going to take a month at most. But yeah, HR plays a really, not only HR, but also management plays a really important role here because if they don't support you in growing this knowledge in the future and things, and they want everything for tomorrow, then it's going to happen. But if they understand that this is going to be a process to get there, it's going to be a success for the company, it's going to be a success for you because it's something new you're learning, and it's going to be for sure good for the business.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your story.